Hello and welcome to the exhibit hall floor at Lads to Leaders, the Nashville, Tennessee convention. We're coming to you from the Gaylord Opryland Hotel. And today I get to sit down in the Light Network and Lads to Leaders podcast booth with JJ Davenport. Hello and welcome.
Thank you so much.
How
we
you
are
doing?
in the midst of organized chaos, but I love it.
It's last weekend.
It's like my life. Yes, I love it.
This is fun, isn't it?
Yes, and what an honor. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, thank you for being on. I'm excited that we get to talk about something that has, boy, it's really caught a lot of traction. The TLC, or Transform Ladies Conference.
That's right.
We want to hear all about this, but for our ladies, this is a ladies-only event, and it's coming up in 2025, September 5th through the 7th at the LeConte Center in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Tell us, how long has this been going on?
Well, this will be our fourth year this September. So we've had 3 years that this is happening. I think, the way that God works, the inception of it was a long time ago, because for several years before that, we would be doing CYC, which is at the same place. And the ladies that work at the LeConte actually would say, "Hey, JJ, when are you going to do a ladies thing here?" And I'm like, "Are you serious?
Something?
This is so much work. CYC alone, is just so much." Yeah. And they kept saying that. And then one day they said that while I was there. And right behind them came my good friend Pam Lenz. And Pam said, "JJ, we can make that happen. I'll help you." And I said, "Well, if you'll help me,
okay,
we'll get this done."
There you go.
And so I think you can only say no to God so many times before he's like, no, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, because I kind of felt like Moses, am I really the one qualified for this?
Send someone else.
And there's somebody else. And he sent helpers, so that's great, because you can't do something like that by yourself.
Okay, so I want to make sure the audience heard that. The LeConte Center said, please do this.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Right. They said, we think that within your religious organization, because they deal with a lot of religious organizations there that rent out the LeConte, they said, we don't see anything for y'all. There's not a whole lot. And we said, there's not a whole lot. And so they said, we'd love to host it. And then, of course, there's very little time that they have available during the year to actually put something on the books. But we made it happen, and it has been a blessing. And I hope that God's glorified through it, which is the whole point and the whole purpose, and that women get to go and be kind of revived. I'll tell you something funny that happened through that as I'm meeting people and talking with them. The ladies, some of the groups are saying, we're just using this as our ladies' retreat. And the elders are like, we're paying for a ladies' retreat anyway. Go up there, rent yourself a cabin. And we've got the speakers and the song leaders, and we have giveaways, and we have fun games, and we have skits, and, some really deep,
just a fun time.
Speakers and things like that. And all of that you can see on the website, especially see the speakers from the past years. So that may help if you're not sure and you're kind of thinking about, well, is this for me, or is this something that my elders are going to be good with? Show them that website, and they can go to the resources and look at that, because it's important to know.
Yeah. Do you all consider yourselves like a sister of Challenge Youth Conference, CYC?
I'd say more of like a granddaughter.
A granddaughter.
CYC's
been around a little while.
26 years?
Yes.
So I would think that would be time enough for us to be the granddaughter, right?
Okay, sure, absolutely.
I'm not sure who our mother is, but...
But Jerry Elder's got to be the dad.
Well,
or maybe the granddad at this point.
Jerry Elder's been there. He's been there a while. And it's so funny with CYC, our board, they all have such specific responsibilities, and they are all masters at what they do.
Yes.
We've got Josh Webster in charge of security, and that is a huge deal. When you're dealing with children, with kids and who's supposed to be here and who's not, it's a huge undertaking. We have Matt Hupel, who handles all the vendors. Huge undertaking. Just massive. Sonny Owens handles the money, the contribution money, and gets people to help get that counted and get that secured. My husband, Larry Davenport, is the planner and the one that, the big picture kind of guy, and gets all that stuff. And then down to the minutia, he's good at that kind of stuff too. So he gets all the details. And he has been invaluable in helping us start TLC, because I had no idea what all he had to do. And then I was just talking to you earlier about Jerry Elder, and Jerry came on to help us kind of filter through where that contribution money goes, because we don't keep that, and we don't for TLC either.
Okay.
We actually were able to give Mount Dora Children's Home a big check because of women that gave on Sunday morning, and that happens at CYC as well. And Jerry kind of helps filter in who needs what and what those needs are and how that needs to be distributed. And what a blessing it is to have something like this where we can bless another organization and promote that and help them and build wells and help children whose parents aren't with them right then. It's been a blessing.
So the benefit of being the granddaughter of CYC, as you say, is you've got all their experience in planning from your husband and everyone else on the board that helps with that.
All of it.
That's really cool.
Yes.
Now we need to make a distinction, because Challenge Youth Conference obviously is for young people.
Yes.
They'll have attendees in the 5 digits, right? I mean, tens of thousands, over 10,000 people. Who are there. The Transform Ladies Conference is targeted more at adult women.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Well, we've said from the start that it really like college age and up.
Okay.
Lots of reasons for that. We understand that if you might have a mature high schooler, but sometimes the subject matters might be a little bit more mature, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Because we're dealing with really college age and up. And if you have a kid that's in your lap, that is fine, because, lots of times babies need mamas, and we even have, certain rooms you can go to if you need to take care of things with that. But not for children. That would be definitely more a different organization.
Good. What's the attendance like at TLC? I mean, I know ladies who have gone, by the way, and they always come back encouraged, refreshed. They're just raving about the experience, which I think is really cool. And they say, there were a lot of people there.
Yeah, there are, and it's so hard to. We were just talking about that the other day because we thought it was one number, and then I saw a post and I was like, no, wait, it had to be. So the first year, I believe we had around 900. Wow. 923 was the actual number.
It's pretty
so
amazing
hard to know
for an inaugural event.
I know.
Yes.
I know, right? Because God just blesses things.
Yes.
And then the second year was about 1,400. Last year we were well over 2,000. So.
Okay.
And this year, I know we already have well over 800 registered. And just being at the booth this morning, some of you were like, oh, I've got to get on that. I've got to get registered. But it's not till September, so you've got a minute.
I was going to say, it's April. So
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And over 800 who are registered, and it's April.
Right. Well, the first year, we were in this small room. It's called the Greenbrier Room. And that's at CYC where they have all the booths. So it's just a small room, and it was great. And I said, hey, next year, let's be too big to be in here. Let's bust out of here. And sure enough, we had to go to a bigger room, and they've got walls they can move and everything. So it's going to hopefully continue to be a blessing to women, and it's been a blessing to me.
That's so cool. Speakers and things like that. I mean, well, let's talk about this, the schedule of the weekend. Is it a weekend event? I mean, when do people arrive? How long does it last? Things like that.
Yeah, it starts on Friday night.
Okay.
And it'll go Friday night, and then we have a session Saturday. Friday night, usually till about 9 o'clock. We have a session Saturday morning, usually about like 8 to noon or 9 to noon, somewhere in there.
Okay.
We'll have probably 2 speakers there Saturday morning, 1 speaker Friday night, and then, of course, giveaways and games and videos and things like that all sprinkled in.
Good.
And then we come again Saturday evening, usually about 6 o'clock.
Okay.
And we'll have another couple of speakers then. And the speakers are going to speak for 30 minutes. Which is doable.
Okay.
Even if you don't have a lot of attention like I don't, that is doable.
Yes,
and we want people leaving wanting more. Not like I've sat here for forever. And so that's a great thing. Our song leaders are top notch. Our speakers this year, myself, I always speak because I'm free. We have Becky Blackman.
Because I'm free.
I mean, let's be honest.
Okay.
Becky Blackman is coming to speak, and we're extremely excited.
Yeah.
I've wanted her to come every year, and it's just scheduling and getting her from Texas up there.
Yes.
Debbie Dupey is one of our speakers that we have every single year, and Debbie is just top notch. She's actually my best friend too.
Oh.
And then we have Celine Sparks,
Yeah.
and all of those ladies have written books, and you can kind of check out who they are and what they are. They're very popular, and they're just great. Celine is so funny.
Yes.
And just a great presence. And then Pam Lynn's lead singing, and she is I mean, top shelf, no dust. She's great. And then Hannah Bradford is also a song leader that we have there. You know, it's hard leading singing with just girls' parts.
Sure.
I mean, you really got to do a good job of choosing the songs and, you know, putting that out there. And they both do so well. Hannah's actually the choral teacher at Muscle Shoals High School. So we're kind of neighbors and also best friends with all these people.
That's so
and it's
neat.
just such a blessing to get to do this kind of with your friends.
Yeah. I'm on your website for the TLC Ladies Conference, which is tlcladies.org. But Friday evening, 7 to 9, Saturday, 9 to noon, Saturday, 6:30 to 9, Sunday, 8 to 9 a.m. So what goes on between noon and 6:30 on Saturday?
Usually people shop.
Okay. Well.
Or they nap. I mean, do you not know that there's Tanger outlets right there?
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I know they're coming for TLC.
Oh, of course.
But
But
I
so
mean,
they have free
I wasn't
time.
born yesterday, right?
So they have free time during the
Oh,
conference.
absolutely. And a lot of them will rent a cabin, so they've got time to go back. They can nap if they want to. They can go have lunch together.
Yes.
Whatever. Just it's good to just have time with your church ladies.
Yes.
You know, just
even if it's just reflecting on what you heard that morning or
Yes.
things like that.
And I'll tell you, Heritage Christian University is a great sponsor for us. And one thing that they do that I just love is that they'll put out some devotionals. And you can use those there. You can use those when you get back, so that when you've got time in that cabin or in those hotel rooms and you just want to talk about things and kind of like hone it in, those devotionals that are available on the website for that weekend are just ideal.
That's neat.
I mean, you don't even have to write anything. You know, you can just have somebody read something off, and we try to make it easy to grow yourself spiritually.
To your point, you said, this is a great opportunity for like a ladies' retreat. Maybe the, the congregation may pay, instead of us having a ladies' day, we're going to go outside.
Sure.
And the devotionals will help to make that more of a congregational level.
Absolutely. I didn't talk about our schedule for Sunday.
Yes.
So Sunday is a regular worship service. And the way that we just, it would just be like you would have at home. So we have men lead singing. We have, men do everything.
I see.
And a lot of reasons for that, but number one reason for that is that a lot of times women will bring their husbands, and the husbands stay in the cabin. We have one group that comes, and I wish I knew who it was, because I've talked to them, and I just think it's the best thing I've ever heard in my life. And they said, they asked if their husbands could come to worship, and I said, absolutely. They said, well, we'll have to tell them. They said, now we bring them because we want them to drive us here, and they come over to the cabin and cook for us, but we don't let them stay here. We make them stay in a hotel.
Okay.
And they said they don't mind a bit, because they
Good
just
for
sit in
them.
the hotel room and watch football all weekend.
Yeah, they're having guys'
and go to
weekend.
the knife store, So I thought that was the best thing I've ever heard.
That is neat. But you don't want those men to not have a place where they can worship with their wives.
Right, absolutely. So that's all, and that's kind of, and we knew that there would be some men that would be coming to help, and of course we have men on our staff that are working behind the scenes.
Okay.
And helping as well. So that's the way that we do worship. So everybody's welcome then.
Good. The term transform ladies conference. I want to ask you to talk about that a little bit and why that's the term that you've chosen. And I know that this year's theme may reflect a little bit more of that purpose as well as you're thinking about that. So talk about that.
We initially were talking about this, and Pam and there was a little group of friends I've pulled together to say, hey, can this happen? And let's just throw some ideas out there. Just the brainstorming, and that was one of the words that kept coming up, because as women, I feel like that's just like we're in a constant process of transforming. We're little girls, then we're young adults, and then we're women, and maybe college students, and then maybe a wife, and maybe a sister, and maybe a sister-in-law, and then a mom and a grandmother. I mean, it's a constant state of like, what's my identity now? What's my name now? And so, and I know men are in some ways too.
But
I think
it's different.
Right, it is a little bit different. We have to like, where's my role?
Yes.
And I think that it's a constant form of that. And as a Christian, hopefully that's what's happening. Hopefully we're continuing to grow. My dad used to always say, you're going forward or you're going backwards, but you're not standing still. It's one or the other. And so anything we can do to perpetuate people growing and people just leading others towards Christ, let's do that. And let's transform ourselves. And so trust is such an issue.
That's the theme this year.
It is the theme this year. That's right. Trust is, and of course we see so many examples of the Bible, of trusting in God. And I don't know, most of them I'm seeing just thinking like, even Sarah and Abraham, like, what? You just pick up and move, you know, what you just, I mean, you're just going to, can you imagine? I mean, because they probably felt the same way as we would today. All right, where are we going to? I don't know, I'll show you. Okay, you know, those kind of things, like the trust that was given. And the older I am, the easier that's becoming to do. You know, the more I'm saying, wow, God did this. God moved these pegs. God put these people in place. God did, I'm just going to sit back and trust because you can see it, you know?
I love the subtitle, Trust No Matter the Season.
No matter the
more
season.
of the completion of the thought. But anyway, And that too, you know, as ladies, you say we're constantly transforming. No matter the season, to trust in God.
That's right. And sometimes those seasons aren't happy seasons.
Right.
Sometimes you have years that this is just a hard year. I mean, people die. People get cancer. People lose jobs. And, you know, a lot of times things happen. It's not even your fault.
Right.
You know, you just have to deal with it because things are happening around you. But to have that trust in God that's going to be constant.
Yes.
What a beautiful thing. You know, I sometimes just wonder how the world does it, how they cope not having something to hang on to, because we have that assurance and we have that steadiness that God provides with us. Yeah, that's beautiful.
I love that. It is, and what a lineup that's going to be for you all this fall. At the LeConte Center in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Now the registration deadline is July 31st, according to the website, and it's $90 per person to attend. What all is that including? I mean, are all meals off-site and things like that? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, meals and hotels and all that kind of thing are off-site.
So you're going to pay for that in addition, which is fine. Yeah.
This will pay for lights and sound and the LeConte Center.
That's
about all
that's
that's going to cover.
So it's a big undertaking.
Yeah, it's a huge undertaking.
And plus, you're you know, again, if you think about it in terms of if we were bringing in a speaker for our own Ladies' Day, and you may be in a congregation where you're going to have both, and that's great too. But you know, you're going to be paying the speakers and that kind of stuff, and so that's part of this too.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool. There's contact information. You know, if people want to reach out to you for more info, exhibitor registration. I mean, just the whole thing is all on the website tlcladies.org, and you can find out all that stuff. A lot of what we've discussed here, but little greater detail here, which I've enjoyed. It's been fun to hear about this.
It's been so nice to meet you.
Oh, and a pleasure for me too. This is great, and to be brought together via Lads to Leaders is
I know,
very
Lads
fitting.
to Leaders. Lads to Leaders is like the cheerleader for everything going on in the Brotherhood.
Isn't
in my
so
opinion,
nice?
I love it
and refreshing.
Yes. If you're doing something positive for the Lord, they are behind you 100%.
That's
and
right.
I love that so much.
And I love the way, I mean, we're talking about our young ladies, and I love the way that there are opportunities for young ladies, because we do. Transform Ladies Conference needs good song leaders for ladies and good speakers for ladies. And who knows but what the ladies who are giving speeches and part of all these different events, maybe even as we speak, will be on that Transform Ladies Conference.
You know that's going to happen.
Lineup. Yeah.
You know, they're getting that experience now, and that's just going to transform them to being speakers as adults. Yeah. And I love it.
That's great.
Yeah.
JJ Davenport, thank you.
Thank
you. We appreciate it. TLCladies.org. More coming up soon from the Light Network booth powered by Lads to Leaders. But for now, we will sign off. Be sure to check out lads2leaders.org for more information about this great program.